Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to round 6 of APX Racing. This is the 50th race of Apex, the 50th race, and of course that means we are around Silverstone, the historic track. Wasn't here last week, so it will bloody hell. Started great, I don't know what I'm saying. Wasn't here last week. Let's go to the calendar. To the previous results, I mean. Right, so Ryan won last week by 3.67 seconds to today Tommy, who was ahead of Taylor Dewhirst. Jeffrey Nasty got P4, Stan got P5, G-Force got P6, Josh Frog got P7, Burks got P8, Eddie Tex P9, and Anders P10. To round off the points finishers, Patrick Blog classified but DNF'd in 12th, and Gio and Wodo were both disqualified from the race. I'm guessing for being in AI. Brian got fastest lap, which you don't get a point for anymore, and the other one, Wodo AI maybe? No. Diary of the day with Jeffrey Nasty, right? I'm just gonna have a little breath, have a drink. Because this has been the worst start for commentating that I've ever done. Right, driver standings. Let's have a look. Let me first do this. Hold on. We are checking. There we go. Okay. So, driver standings. Ryan Hurren, 46 points ahead of Taylor Dewhirst in second, who is 10 points ahead of Gio in third. Today, Tommy P4 in the driver standings, Drake and Jan P5, Josh Richards as a reserve in P6, Stan P7, Alfie P8, who is not racing today, Nathan P9, and Sir Edu Goskonen in 10th. The constructors standings. Kick Sauber leading them 111 points, 104 of them were by Ryan Hurren. The other 7 were by either Josh or a reserve. I'm guessing Josh. Williams second, Ferrari third, Visa Cash Out Racing Bulls fourth, McLaren Mercedes fifth. Oracle Red Bull Racing 6th, Monogram Haas 7th, Alpine 8th, Aston Martin 9th, and Mercedes are last. The driver lineup for this season, Gio is currently the only driver in the McLaren, Red Bull of Steve, MKO, and Wodo, Alfie and Anders in the Aston Martin, Matt James by himself in the Haas after Jack Brassington moved down to reserve because he cannot make many races anymore due to commitments for work. Williams of Today Tommy and Stan, Sauber of Ryan Hurren and Crossrock Josh, Racing Bulls of Jeffrey Nasty and EV5 but I'll just say EV. Kelly Canal and that's a clip. Alpine of Kelly Canal and Eddie Tex, Mercedes of Patrick Blog and Initiate, Ferrari of Taylor Dewhirst and G-Force. The lineup for this race is as follows. So, Gio is by himself in the McLaren, Taylor with G-Force, DMK with Woda in the Red Bull, Patrick and Nathan in the Mercedes, Burks and Anders in the Aston Martin, Kelly Canal and Eddie Tex in the Alpine, Weberson and Matt James in the Haas, Jeffrey Nasty by himself in the Racing Bulls. Today, Tommy and Stan in the Williams, and Ryan Hurren and Crossrock Josh in the Kick Sauber. Right, ladies and gentlemen. Live. Here we go. Qualifying has started, and we've already got drivers about to cross the line. And I think the first one will be a Red Bull of Steve MKO as he comes into the final chicane, just gone past the Lando stand. Rounding the final corner for his first lap of qualifying. The time to beat so far is 29.5 for the Red Bull. Jeffrey Nasty is going to be next up. He's going to go first now. 2 seconds quicker with a 27.5. Tommy Uploads goes first now with a 26.7 ahead of Jeffrey Nasty. The Haas of Mate. Webison goes fourth with a 38.6. I'm guessing that wasn't a push lap. The McLaren is next up with Gio, but he's on an out lap. So it's Crossfrog Josh, who is going to go to the line now, and he is going to set a 127 flat and put himself in P2. Matt James is next up, and he invalidated this in next lap. Carly Canal's gone second with a 26.9. Ryan Hurren. Matt's disconnected, Kelly's disconnected. Ryan Hurren to the line. He should go quickest here with a 26.365. And he goes 4 tenths ahead of Tommy Buds. And Taylor comes to P2 with a 26.7. The Aston Martin is letting a driver through. So Stan is going to come to the line now. And we'll see what lap time he can do. To the line, it's going to be a 27.9 for the Williams driver. Next up is G-Force, who has just started his lap. The Aston Martin of Burks doing the same. The Aston Martin of Anders also doing the same. The Haas of Webison is 8.7 seconds up, so he's going to go to the line and do a 30.1 and remain in that last position, but he definitely has more time in that lap. Gio is cooling down and giving a gap to the cars ahead. Josh, I think, is entering the pit lane. The Alpine of Eddie Tex is on an out lap. The Mercedes of Patrick is on an out lap. Ryan Hurren's on an in lap. The Ferrari of G-Force is not that Ferrari. And if that Williams isn't on a lap, which he isn't, so G-Force is next to go across the line. He's going through Maggots and Beckett's now. We'll see what he can do through the middle sector. He could get a slipstream off the Williams here. And he might be getting one now. He's going to open the DRS, use his overtake button. And he's going to get a slipstream. It might have given him a 10th or 2, but it wouldn't have gained him that much, I don't think. G-Force through the final few corners now. Famous through goes Hamilton, part of the track. And to the line, G-Force is going to go P8 with a 28.4. The Aston Martin of Anders is next up, and he's going to go P9 with a 28.6. Boaks is next up, and he's going to go last with a 35.5. And Gio also went last, but he's currently on a lap. The Haas of Mate Webison does improve by 3 tenths and goes up to P11, remains in P11, but is now in the 29s. What is Gio going to do as he comes through the final corner now? He's going to put the pedal to the floor, and he's going to go second with a 26.6 for the McLaren driver. On the game, he's on an out lap. Eddie Tex 17th, he's invalidated his lap, so he's going to have to go again. Patrick is next up as he is going to cross the line in a few moments' time through the final couple of corners. Now through the final corner. It's going to go P9 with 27.9 for the Mercedes driver. The Aston Martin is getting let through here of Burks. And Burks is on a lap. He's 6.1 seconds up on his lap time, as he's going to go through the final few corners. Tommy is on an out lap at the top of the pack. Burks to the line is going to go 10th with a 28 flat. What about on the game? He hasn't done a lap so far. There's a McLaren off in the grass on the right hand side. Tom's just started his flying lap. The Aston Martin of Anders, I think, is about to start his second flying lap. And on the game invalidated his lap time, so he's going to have to go again. So next up is Gio, and he's entering the pit lane. I think he was a McLaren. He is the only McLaren, so he was the McLaren. That was it in the grass. What about Eddie Tex? He has not set a lap so far. Neither has Nathan Den Hartog, earned the game, or Matt James. Matt James has just rejoined the session though. So we'll see if he can get out on track without disconnecting again. Eddie Tex to the line. He's going to go 14th with 29.5 ahead of Webberson, who is currently last of the people that have set a lap. Right, Hurren starting his flying lap. It's the MKO, so that means own the game. He's going through. No, it's not. It's a V carb. God's sake. And he's just crossed the line. Was it Jeffrey Nasty? Jeffrey Nasty 27.5. I don't know if he was already there in P7, but he is now. Nathan to the line. He's going to start his flying lap. So what's happening on the main straights? Stays on the main straights. Tommy Uploads is down by 1/10 of a second. We'll see if he can improve on this lap, though. Through the final couple of corners, the Williams driver does improve by almost half a tenth, but doesn't gain a position. Just moves him a bit closer to Taylor, who is 8 thousandths ahead of him. Taylor starting his flying lap now. So is Kelly Canal. And so will be Stan E. Raw. Eddie Tex is not on a lap. Crossfrog is though, and he is purple apparently in the middle sector. But the game doesn't always 100% be truthful through there, so through the final couple of corners, we'll see what he can do. Through the final corner now. To the line. And they're going to go ahead of Cali Canal by improved by 3/10 of a second. Holy hell. Of a second. 4 thousandths behind Tommy Uploads. Where's that word into there? I know why as well. Right, Nathan is not on a representative lap. So we can have a look at Tom, who isn't on the lap. Brian Hurren is though. Is Brian Hurren up on his time? I don't know. Through the final couple of corners. We'll see what he can do. To the line. 26-1 for the pick Sauber. So he gains in first. Taylor goes second with 26.3, 2 tenths behind Ryan Hurren. Stands to the line. He does improve by 8 tenths and goes up to P7 with 27 flat. 9 tenths to the second off of pole position so far. G-Force just starting his flying lap. Matt James is also on track and he is starting his first flying lap. What about Cross's jockey there? Entering the pit lane. Nathan to the line again. No, it is Patrick, who's on an out lap. And so is Webby. Webby's also on an out lap. Because of the yellow flags, I can't see how long's left in the session. I won't think it'll be long though, with the amount of cars that are out on track so far. Nathan is entering the pit lane. I don't think he is doing qualifying, to be honest, but guess we'll find out what is the Alpine doing. There's 5 minutes to go in the session. Thank God the yellow flags disappeared, so all the drivers currently in the lap might have the chance to do one more after this one. Ryan Hurren enters the pit lane. I'm guessing Taylor's going to do the same. He hasn't validated his lap, so he is going to enter the pit lane. Cali Canal is now in the final sector. And he's going to enter the pit lane as well. G-Force is on an out lap. Stan is entering the pit lane. Matt James is invalidated. I think he's going to stay out. He is going to stay out. Rebel of Steve's on an out lap. Jeffrey Nasty also on an out lap. Patrick is on a flying lap and he's currently in 10th place. However, he's 2.6 seconds down So I think he might enter the pit lane. Yes, he will. Webby is still on track. Will he stay out? Yes, he will. So he's going to set this flying lap. Can he gain any positions? Maybe go ahead of Eddie, Tex and Steve. But no, he's going to not improve by 6 tenths. So I'm guessing he's going to go again. On the game and STMK are both on outlaps. G-Force is on a flying lap through Cops. Through the most critical corners in the Grand Prix. But this is only qualifying. Then we have a 29 lap race. 26 lap race. One of the two. I think it's 26. I don't know. Yeah, because it's 52. So yeah, 26 lap race. Let's go through the right-hander where the Lando stand is in real life. And he's going to enter the pit lane. So he's going to abort that attempt. That's not what I pressed. Right. Matt James is now to the line. What's he going to do? Is he going to be able to be ahead of anyone? He's going to go 13th with a 29.1 for the Haas driver. What about Steve MKO? No, that's not him. Was that Jeffrey Nasty? Yes, it was. And he improved by 3 tenths. Doesn't get in position, but cements his place even more in 8th. Gio is on a flying lap now. The Haas is entered the pit lane. The Red Bull of Own the Game, I think, is the Red Bull ahead. Yes, he is. Matt James is disconnected, so it's good he got that lap in when he did. And he will not get back out on track. Everyone leaving the pit lane with 2 minutes 10 remaining in the session. We're going to go through the final couple of corners with the Red Bull driver to the line. The Red Bull driver is going to set a 1:27.6 and go P9. So now everyone has set a lap in the session. Steve goes P14 with a 28.6. Anyone leaving the pit lane now might not get another lap in. Folks, I think he was just starting a lap. These drivers are going to struggle who are exit the pit lane now, and that includes his teammate, which is Anders. Currently in 13th place, he's only just exited the pit lane with 1:21 to go. So unless he cuts corners, he's not making it. And you're not allowed to cut corners in qualifying. So we'll see how that turns out. So Gio, with 1:11 to go, he would get another lap in, but will he do that? As he goes to the line, he's currently going to go P2 with 26.2. Goes ahead of Taylor Dewhirst into P2. Stan is next to... Oh, no, it's not. Where's Tom? Tom is on an outlap. And so are both Saubers. The Alpine of Cali Canal is also on an outlap. The Mercedes of Patrick is also on an outlap. Taylor is also on an outlap with 37 seconds remaining in the session. So Steve MKO will be the next one to cross the line, and he is 3.4 seconds down, so he's not on a lap time. G-Force is on an outlap. The Aston Martin of Folks isn't on a lap. Anders is invalidated, and if he gets the line now, I think he might have cut corners. So with 12 seconds remaining, this driver should not make it to the line. He came out the pit lane with 1:21 and has made it to the line. And he did invalidate, so I do think he might have cut a corner or two. I'll review it before I say any more, but I guess we'll find out. Let's go on board with Gio, who is not on the lap anymore. What about today, Tommy? He's half a 10th up or almost. And that's in sector 1, so sector 2 is 5 tenths up on his time. If he gets a couple more, he could be on for pole position here. That was a great middle sector by the Williams driver. Might have been purple. Stan goes 7th with 27 flat. Tommy uploads to the line. And he's going to go P3 with a 26.63. So it's not pole position for him. Matt James and Matt Tay haven't set laps. Ryan Hurren is next up to cross the line. No, it's Crossbrock who doesn't improve. Ryan Hurren does improve and does a 25.6. That's a 5/10 improvement. And I think that could be pole position for him unless Taylor Dewhirst can stop him. Patrick is the next to cross the line. He's going to go P9 with a 27.5. What about Taylor Dewhirst? He's going to go to the line and he's going to go P2 with 26.1. 6/10 of his second behind Ryan Hurren. What about his teammate G-Force? His teammate G-Force is going to go to the line now. Will he improve? He's gone off track and doesn't improve. The two Aston Martins are next up. Anders doesn't change. Burks goes P9 with 27.5. And I think that is qualifying over. And the game is down by 20.5 seconds. And that is qualifying over. Ryan Hurren is on pole. And I'll catch you for the qualifying results screen. So Ryan Hurren is on pole. Taylor Dewhirst is second. Gio third. Tommy Wilpons P4. P5 for Josh Frog in qualifying. Colin Canal P6. Stan P7. Jeffrey Nasty 8th. Burks 9th. And Patrick rounds out the top 10. Nathan Den Hartog is going to start from the back of the grid after he sets a 1 minute 38.3 lap time. Oh, no rain around Silverstone. That's a shock, but it could come later in the session. Right. As we go to 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go for the Silverstone Grand Prix. It's a good start from Ryan Hurren, who remains in P1, and it's a crash behind for Tommy Uploads off the line. He's in the wall. Matt hasn't started and it's a virtual safety car already. 10-second time penalty for BPA for causing a collision. 10-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags for Eddie Tex. Right. That was all a bit carnage. Right. Ryan Hurren remains in P1. Gio and Matt's also got a 10-second for ignoring yellow flags. Gio's up into P2. It's a virtual safety car. Taylor's dropped down to P3. Josh is up to P4. Kelly up to P5. Stan up to P6. Burks up to P7, getting 2 positions. Editex getting 6 off the start. Natan's in last. Tom's lost 12 positions down to 16th. And the tyres for everyone are mediums and softs spread out between the grid. And the virtual safety car has ended. Ryan Hurren leading the way by 0.3 of a second. As overtakes happening behind. Cross Rocket's got ahead of Taylor. Taylor's had a bad start. So it's a bad start for Taylor. It was dropped down to P4 and he could be under pressure now from Kelly Canal. Or you can go for the overtake on Crossbrook around the outside. Can he get it done? No, he cannot. There's overtakes behind with the Red Bull and the Alpine. And there's also overtakes as Tom has broken his wing. and Tom will enter the pit lane. So Taylor 3 tenths behind of Cosworth, who is 9 tenths behind of the front two. As he now goes into the left-hander. Opens up the DRS down the Hamilton straight, I think this one is. Or is it Hannah straight? I don't have a clue anymore. I've got a really bad headache and I cannot concentrate, Jesus. 2 tenths is the gap between the Aston Martin and the Williams. And it's 5 tenths between the Racing Bull and the Aston Martin. Will they go for it into Cops? No, he won't. He'll stay behind. And with DRS, can Gio, from 3 tenths back, overtake Ryan out of Magnussen Beckett's as Webberson retires, and that is the first safety car in this Grand Prix. And it'll be interesting to see if anyone pits, because it could be a 2-stop, and Josh Frog decides to not pit. I don't think anyone's going to pit, to be honest. Stan does. Stan's going to take the risk. And did anyone get a spin? I swear someone just got a spin in the pit pen. No, they all just got for collisions and speeding. So, in the pits is half the grid. Half the grid has decided to stay out. This is what McLaren were hoping for in Qatar. Matt James is up into P7, but I think it is his AI. He's going to have to take control pretty soon, otherwise he might be at risk of disqualification after the race. So it's Sauber 1-3 right now. And that's the perfect start for them, as they want to extend their lead at the top of the constructors. So we'll see what they can do from them positions, because it's vital, because if Ryan and Gio battle, then Josh could get through and make it a Sauber 1-2. Right. So let's have a look at the tyres they decide to pit onto. So it's mediums for the top 6. Matt James on softs. G-Force on mediums. Stian Keogh's on softs. Stan is on hards. Boats on mediums. PPA's on hards. Anders and Erdegaard on mediums. Nathan's on hards. Editex is on mediums. And Tommy Uploads is on hards. And Tom did... This has helped Tom, because Tom had a terrible start. So... Well, lap 3 of 36. The safety car could be on this lap, depending on if drivers at the back catch up. But why am I on board with Matt James? Let's go on board with Ryan. Behind the safety car. It's not the first time he's led a safety car this season. He has led it previously. And it's not the start Webberson would have wanted in his Apex career. DNFing on the second lap of 26 in Apex 50th race. Who knows, I could be commentating in the next 50th race, in the 100th race. As all the grid have caught up, so the safety car could be in at the end of this lap, or it might stay out for an extra one. We don't know. Brian Hurren is leading it, ahead of Gio, ahead of Josh, ahead of Taylor. Tom is at the back of the grid. Nathan hasn't gained many positions from the back of the grid. He'll be hoping that changes on this restart. He might have got caught up in the shenanigans on lap 1. Matt James and STMK both have 10-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags and collisions respectively. And it is safety car in this lap. So Ryan's going to let the Mercedes safety car pull away and enter the pit lane, whilst also backing up the grid to get us racing again on lap 5 of 26. You don't want to do a max here and spin off the restart before it even gets past the finish line. But it does sound like a thing Brian would do. But he didn't. And Brian is not gone yet. Still not gone. And he has gone now, going into the chicane, and he did lose the rear a bit there, so it's going to help Gio catch a bit back up, and Gio is right on the back of him as they're going to head down into turn 1. Is Gio going to go for it? Will he want to go for it, or will he just stay behind and wait till DRS becomes available again? Gio is going to go down the inside, or at least look for it. They are side by side going into the left-hander, and Ryan Hurren is going to give him the room on the exit. Gio is going to keep it round the outside. No DRS until the next lap. Gio is in the lead. Ryan Hurren's going to knock back out though. He's going to stay down the inside. Gio's backed out from the outside. Is he going to look for a switch back though? He is right on the back of the Sauber driver. And Ryan's got the better exit there, but does Gio splash the DRS to go for it into Cops? 2/10 back. He isn't going to go for it into Cops. Neither is Taylor, but Gio goes off the track, and that could open it up for the Sauber of Josh Frog from 3/10 back. Taylor is battling here with Callie Canaland. It looks like he has 0 race pace, and he's made contact, and it's a half spin, but he's going to drop out of the points. Oh, he might drop down to 10th. We're going to see a stud goes down the inside, and he's also going to go down the inside of the Aston Martin to make it 3 wide. Taylor's going to stay around the outside, and it's a great move by Taylor to stay and move up to 9th as it's deep for CMKO. Ryan Hurren sets the fastest lap of the race. Jeffrey Nassi in P5, and Nathan's all the way up into P11. Matt James is in 10th, and Nathan is pulling. Oh my god! He was going slow and then made contact with the Alpine of Eddie Tex, and that wasn't very safe. I don't know why he slowed down, to be honest, as Tom is battling with the Aston Martin, and Taylor is also battling with the Red Bull as he's going to go around the outside. Now, does the Red Bull have DRS, or is it Taylor that has the DRS? We're going to see Stan go for it as well, down the inside of the Red Bull. It's going a bit deep, so the Red Bull's going to try and switch him back on lap 6 of 26. And Stan gets ahead of the Red Bull driver. The Red Bull driver. And now Taylor has to gain 1.9 seconds to get on the back of G-Force. Let's Own the Game and Eddie Tex are battling. And Own the Game goes off track, so it's an easy overtake for Eddie Tex. BPA and STMKO are battling. Simco has gone a bit deep there, and that could help Stan, Tom and Matt James. Matt James is going to get back in the slipstream with Tom, and Tom could go for it here on the Red Bull driver, but he's not going to. CMKO is stayed in 10th place for now. Very slow on the apex, and he's going to enter the pit lane. So Tom moves up into 10th. So the moves happening with Matt James spinning on the sausage curb and dropping down to the back of the grid. Luckily he's not in a wall, and luckily there's no safety car from that. As Steve is in the pit lane. Brian Hurren still leading the way by 7/10 of a second to Gio, so he's slowly extending the gap, but as long as Gio remains within the DRS, you don't have to worry about a thing, because every little thing is going to be alright. Eddie Tex 4/10 back from the Aston Martin, but Own the Game is going to go for it on the Alpine driver as he's going to go down the inside. He does back out, but that opens the door for Nathan Den Hartog from P14. The Red Bull 6 is nose back down the inside of the Alpine. He's going to try and get a better exit then the Alpine. And he's going to go around the outside into Cop with no racing room there. And Eddie Tex goes deep. And that's an easy overtake. Nathan also getting past the Alpine there. Now Taylor's on the back of G-Force. From 5 tenths back, it could be an overtake on his teammate. And his teammate could also just let him pass. But I don't know if they're going to work together. Anders drops down to P13 on the game, and Nathan Den Hart will get past them both. And is the Aston Martin's going to go for it? No, he's not. Nathan in P11, 1.8 seconds off of the next driver, which is Tommy uploads. Tommy doesn't upload anymore though. Stan 4 tenths back from Taylor, who's 5 tenths back from his teammate G-Force. And he could, because these lines from G-Force are not that good, so it could be an easy overtake for Taylor here from 4 tenths back. Lap 8 of 26. Must have fared through the race already. Pit stops could start coming soon for the leaders. Taylor 3 tenths back. Stan's also gaining on the straight. He's going to try and get as close as possible before they get onto the back straight after Maggots and Beckett's. Through Maggots and Beckett's now. He's going to open up the DRS. He's going to go around the outside of the Ferrari. And he's going to get ahead of his teammate. So now next up for him is Jeffrey Nasty if he wants to get back up after his mistake when battling. As Gio is going to drop out the DRS now of Ryan Hurren, so he could start falling back even more now that he can't gain on the straights due to DRS. Tommy's 3 tenths back from Patrick. These two have some rivalry on track, so we'll see if there's any more contact between the two. Tommy's involved in a Mercedes sandwich right now. Nathan getting back to the back of, very close to the back of Tom. So Tom's going to open the DRS. And Nathan's going to try and follow through on the Mercedes. And does. Patrick gets a little tank slapper on the exit. And will Nathan also go for it on the Williams? And what's G-Force going to do on his teammate? Will he stay behind? Stan is 2 cents back for the Ferrari, so he could go for it. They've both gone off track. That's surely a warning for both of them. Matt James down in P16. Stian Kjos down in 17th, 23 seconds off the next driver. Ryan Horn's 1.5 seconds in the lead now. Stan's going to open DRS. G-Force also having DRS now. Nathan, you can see in the background, getting past Tommy uploads. And Josh enters the pit lane from 3rd position. So, with 16 laps to go, we'll see if he's going to go to the end of the tyres. So Sidcar would help him do the one stop. But pitting lap 10 seems early for the one stop. The Williams of Stan is very close to the back of the Ferrari, and he's going to go down the inside. And G-Force got scared there, which helped Nathan get through. And Tom is now stuck behind the Ferrari, but he'll get past him on the straight maybe. And if Stan doesn't have DRS here, which he does, but Nathan can still get past him as he's going to go down the inside, and he's up into P6. Taylor is catching the car ahead, but only by a couple of tenths a lap. The Williams of Stan is 4 tenths back now from the Mercedes, so Mercedes obviously having more pace. Jeff Nasty's within the DRS of Calican now. Not anymore, but it is fluctuating. As Tommy uploads gets past G-Force, going into Maggots and Beckett's. And because Josh pit on lap 9, will Ryan pit on lap 10? and go the one lap later? No, he will not. But I'll tell you who will. Gio will enter the pit lane, and Matt has left the session again. Matt's gone again. Kelly Canal stays out, Giovinazzi stays out, Taylor stays out. All the drivers staying out. And there's been a spin for the Aston Martin of Anders, I think that was, or it might be G-Force, who's now down to P11. So Gio is exited the pit lane on the hard tyres, so he's going to go to the end, maybe. Ryan Hurren, 7.3 seconds in the lead now, ahead of Cali Canal. And Taylor is catching. Taylor is catching Jeffrey Nasty. And Nathan, oh, I can't get my button. There we go. Nathan has overtaken Taylor Dewhirst and up into P4. So now it's Nathan's job to catch up to the back of the Racing Bull driver and then fight the Alpine and then maybe try and catch up to the Sauber of Ryan Hurren. Ryan Hurren is currently checking out. Interesting to see if Gio can get the undercut done. Gio is catching the cars ahead, so if Ryan doesn't pit, Gio might get stuck in traffic. Tommy uploads 6/10 back from the Williams of Stan. He does have the DRS. Eddie Tex just got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so he would have gone off track. Ryan Hurren has entered the pit lane. Jeffrey Nass has entered the pit lane. Cali Canal has stayed out, so Cali Canal is going to take the lead of the race for now. The Mercedes of Nathan Den Hartog stays out. Taylor has entered the pit lane. Stan also stays out. Tom also stays out, so but they are on the hard tyres. Even they never. Oh wait, they did pit under the safety car though, so this could be very good for them. There's Gio getting up into P10. He did come out behind Brian Hurren and is battling the Alpine and the Sauber. The Sauber's going to try and get him. The Alpine was a bit slow there, so I don't know if there was contact made. McLaren is 3/10 back, but the Sauber's 2/10 back. Be interested to see what happens as the Sauber's going to go down the inside. Just contact made and Crossrock has got off track. He's going to rejoin in P11. And the battling again. Gio is going to go down the inside with Aston Martin into Cox. No, he's not. He's going to stay behind. The Aston Martin goes off a bit there, so Gio's going to have a run. Tommy Upload is going for the overtake on his teammate, and this must mean Stan's going to pit then, surely. No, Stan's going to stay out. I don't know why I said that, they've already pit. They'll pit later on. Nathan's 4/10 back from Cali Canal. He also pit under the safety car. And Nathan could be getting Cali Canal on the next straight or in the next corner. Brian Hurren is just in a world of his own in the middle of the track. He's got no traffic around him. Now will Nathan Den Hartog get past Cali Canal with half the race left to go? He's going to stay behind. Taylor has overtaken, or is trying to overtake the Racing Bull of Jeffrey Nasty, and on these fresh tyres it should be easy down the main down the straight with DRS. And he is going to go for it down the inside. It's great on the brakes by the Ferrari, and he is going to get ahead of the Racing Bull driver, and now he has to catch up to Eddie Text. Nathan didn't get past, but from 1/10 back he's alongside and he is ahead of the Alpine driver before he even opened up the DRS. So Nathan Den Hartog is in the lead of this race, and the Alpine is locked up and gone off track. Maybe he's got a puncture? He has got a puncture to the front left. The Alpine stayed out too long has got a puncture to his front left tyre. So it's a puncture for him. He's going to have to fight his way through the field to get to the end of the race in a position that he would hope for. And that made the overtake even easier for Nathan and Hartog. Brian Hurren in 5th, 1.3 seconds behind of Patrick. He is 6 seconds ahead of Gio though. And hopefully Brian isn't impatient, and for a good opportunity to arise for the Sauber driver. And it's going to be an easy overtake into Cops. Before you even get into Cops, I mean, down the old pitch straight. Stiamco gets past Eddie Tex. And the two Williams are working together to try and pull the gap. Stan does have the DRS. Kelly Canal got past G-Force on his fresh tyres after he got his puncture, and he's on the hards yet again. Stan is dropping out DRS, and that's because Tommy Uploads pushed lap 15, which is this lap. That as Ryan goes to the line and he sets the fastest lap of the race with a 29.6. That does mean he's capturing. That does mean he's catching the leader. It'll be interesting to see where Tom comes out after his pit stop. He could come out as low as P10. He's putting it down to P9. Through turn 1. It'd be great if I could see. He is ahead of the Red Bull of Own the game. And the game is in the DRS of Tommy Uploads though. Gio in 5th, 1.4 seconds off of Patrick, who's the next car he needs to overtake. Will he go for it? Nathan and Stan both pit from the hard tyres. Will he go for the mediums, or will he go for another set of hards? Nathan is going for another set of hards. Stan is going for another set of hards as well. So Ryan Hurren leading the race by 10.2 seconds. He is not pitting again. Neither is Nathan and Stan, but they will be on the freshest tyres of the lot. Gio is in 2nd. Frog in 3rd. It's a great drive by Josh in P3. Must be a good track for him. Oh, the game is still on the back of Tommy Uploads by 7/10 of a second. Matt has joined back. It's a good job he's trying to rejoin. Brian is 7.7 seconds ahead, so unless he makes a huge mistake, I don't see him losing this race, and it would mean he would extend his lead at the top of the championship. And the driver in P2 will currently probably lose P2 as Gio is in 2nd and Taylor in 4th, so Taylor needs to try and get past the Sauber of Josh Frog ASAP, and then try and attack Gio. He is 1.5 seconds back though. And the game 6/10 back, 5/10 back from Tommy Uploads. With a time penalty though. 9 laps to go with it in this race. Opens the DRS down the Hurren straight. Four tenths back. Red Bull from the Williams. And Taylor has got within the DRS of the Sauber. 8 tenths back, 7 tenths now. Nathan did get past Jeffrey Nasty just said. You can see him in the background. 2.7 seconds behind these two, so he'll probably at least finish on the podium with 8 laps to go in this race. Nathan does set the fast lap. He's on the mediums. Sorry, earlier where I said he was on the hards. Taylor 5 tenths back. But we'll gain on the straight with DRS. Tom has got all the DRS of own the game. Finally, for him. Still, is getting closer and closer. 7 tenths back now from the Sauber. What a camera angle this is. Great camera angle. Through Cops. Now through Maggots and Beckett's. And Matt has retired in the pit lane, so the double Haas DNF. Surprised they are from back of constructors, but that is because Jack's done a couple of races and because of their reserves. That play might not last. As Taylor is now only 5 tenths ahead of Nathan, so Nathan gained a lot on that last lap. Taylor's gonna need to get past, otherwise he'll be under threat from the Mercedes driver. And Josh makes a tiny mistake there. Did lose in 2 tenths of a second, and this is a perfect opportunity for the Ferrari of Taylor Dewhirst. But he's going to stay behind, at least for another couple of corners. Nathan's looking for it, looking for the opportunity to arise. He's going to go for it now. He didn't overtake him before the straight even finished. And will he also go for it on Josh? We'll have a look. We'll go on board with the Sauber driver. Nathan is the driver behind him. 3 tenths behind him. Ryan is pulling the gap. Still to Gio. Tom with a 3-second time penalty. He currently wouldn't lose position, and Nathan has got down the inside of Josh Frog. And I think the maximum Nathan's getting here is going to be P2. For the Mercedes driver, if he goes full push, full bazunga. Taylor really needs to hope that Josh falls out the DRS and Nathan before the detection zone. He only has to get one more attempt, does Nathan? But Josh has the DRS from the Mercedes for one more straight, at least, which helps the threat from Taylor. Taylor's great in Sector 1, but he just loses all the time in Sector 2 and 3. Maggots and Beckett's on the final few corners. We'll see if he can get the run off of this corner. However, if I was him, I would wait for the other straight, which is what he's going to do. Tommy's 3/10 back from Jeffrey Nasty, which you can see in the background. You can see Nathan in the foreground. Every time you change the camera. As Taylor's going to go down the inside. Josh breaks later and stays ahead, but until they get the better exit, he's going to go down the inside. Josh stays ahead. And lives to fight another day in P4. Which would be one of his better positions in Apex. And what a way for Apex 50th race to go for one of the founders to win it. One of the other founders to get second. That'd be a great way to end. To mark the 50th races. Taylor's now going to go for it on the inside. He's got the move done. Stay ahead of the Sauber. And hope he can pull away now because Tom is catching and he's 1.2 seconds back with a 3-second time penalty though. So if Tom did overtake, he would have to gain 3 more seconds. Taylor is 4 seconds now off Nathan, and Nathan is catching Gio at a rate of knots. So Gio could be at risk of losing position to Mercedes, who is on the medium, so his tyres could die relatively soon. Just going to stay on board with Josh Frog. And he's going to enter the pit lane, so it's a bold move. It's probably going to go for the soft tyres. It's the Sauber driver. Let's see what he does. The Sauber pit box obviously being right at the end of the pit lane. Now is it a red striped tyre? It looks red stripe. But it's hards for him. So it's hards for Frog, which is interesting with 4 laps to go. Maybe he was close to a puncture and that's the only tyre he had left. As Patrick is on the back of G-Force. Looks very slow at that corner. Bloody hell. He's going to open up the DRS. Probably why it looked slow, to be honest. That's great. That is W. 1,000 dropped frames is crazy. I'll get back for the end of the race, hopefully. I don't know if that was just me. Matt has made an instant report. I don't know why he would be reporting, to be honest. As if this loaded, it would be great, to be honest. Not gonna lie. Ooh, I'm still getting the messages of bloody drivers disconnecting. Right, let's go there. There. Work. No. Wait, let's try that again. There we go. And spectate. Now this could mean desync for me, which hopefully it doesn't. And I think we'll be on like 24 or 25 when I come back into this. That would be my guess. 24. Right. Let's do that. No, that. There we go. Nathan is on the back of Gio, 9/10 back from the McLaren with 3 laps to go in this race. Seven tenths, 6 tenths. He's gaining. Gio does have a penalty, so he's going to lose his position. And he's going to defend the inside, stay ahead of the Mercedes driver. A detector with another 3-second time penalty. It's a pen merchant, it seems. As Ryan Hurren goes into cops right now. Nathan's going to be following that soon, as he might look for it into cops. Round the outside. He's going to stay behind. And I feel like they're just having a bit of games here because they obviously know they're not going to win the race, but it does mean they'll be losing time to Taylor. And with Gio's 3-second time penalty, that is not good for him. 4 tenths back, 3 tenths. This should be an easy overtake for the Mercedes driver. As he's going to go around the outside. Wasn't McLaren. Second time penalty for Burks for speeding in the pit lane. And Nathan gets ahead down the inside into the second to last corner. And we'll probably now finish in second with 2 laps to go in this race. Ryan Hurren leading by 12 seconds almost. Tom did get ahead of Taylor. The spin for the Mercedes with Patrick. Luckily there can't be any more safety cars on lap 25 or 26. And Taylor is going to lose even more points in the championship to Ryan Hurren. But as long as he stays with Tom for another couple of laps, he could get P4 and he might even get P3. Let's have a look at the penalties. That's just 3 seconds from both. And Josh would be currently up into P9 with Kelly Canals 3 seconds. Then it takes us 19 seconds worth of penalties, so I'm guessing one of them was speeding and the other 3 were for exceeding track limits. Taylor is staying with Ferrari and Gio staying with the McLaren. Gio staying with the Mercedes of Nathan. Ryan Hurren heads on to the final lap of the race. In the 50th race for APX. Lap 26 to 26, so as long as he makes no mistakes, it's Ryan Hurren's race to lose. And unless he got an incident and gets a 10-second time penalty, because Nathan will finish within 10 seconds. As he now, will he get away from Gio before the DRS detection zone? No, he will not, so Gio will have the DRS. So will Taylor on top. But he doesn't need to overtake because of the 3-second time penalty that Tom has. Half a lap to go for Ryan Hurren. And this could be an easy championship for the kick Sauber driver. And Crossfog making a mistake on strategy does mean that Sauber won't get as many points as I was hoping for, and that could help Williams in the standings to try and clinch their second constructors championship in a row. Obviously last season it was myself and Speedy that got the constructors wrapped up, and Stan and Tom will be hoping to do the same this season. As Ryan Hurren rounds the final corner and wins Apex's 50th race, 9.7 seconds ahead of Nathan Den Hartog, who is only just now rounding the final corner. And if Ryan gets a 10-second time penalty, who knows? Nathan's just going to stop and let Gio get second. And let Tom get third. And let Taylor get third, because Tom had a 3-second time penalty. So Taylor third, Tom P4, Giovinazzi P5, P6 for Stan. And I feel like Ryan's going to report this because it's just a Ryan thing to do. But it's 10-second time penalty was unserved, so it remains. And Nathan's just going to wait for every person to go through. And Nathan's now just been disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. So he just did all that race to get disqualified. G-Force is going to come home 10th to wrap up the points, as Patrick just got a last minute 3-second time penalty. And is going to come home P11 with 16 seconds worth of penalties. Eddie takes 12 and Anders P13. Patrick has just left the session, which retains his car. Right, let's think. Right. The race results after that one. Let's have a look. So it was race winner Ryan Hurren, fastest lap by Nathan, who got disqualified at the end. Eddie takes driver of the day. Most of it takes Tom, and the clearest driver was Stan. Ryan Hurren won the race. Joe second, Taylor third, Tom P4, Giovinazzi fifth, Stan sixth, Josh seventh, Own the Game eighth, Callie Canal ninth, and G-Force 10th. Matt James and Webby both DNF'd, and Nathan disqualified from the race. So the calendar for this season we've already had, and that hasn't updated. That's great. That's a W moment. Give me 2 seconds. Two seconds. Wow, that updated quick. Brazil was won by Ryan Hurren. Las Vegas was won by Gio. Baku was won by Ryan Hurren. The sprint race at Netherlands was won by Josh Richards. Hungary was won by Ryan Hurren. Silverstone was won by Ryan Hurren. Next up is Singapore for a sprint. Then we head to both Italy in round 8 and round 9. Imola first, then Monza. Then 2 sprint races of Austria and Mexico. Then Canada, then Saudi Arabia, and then Abu Dhabi to round it off. That race was more boring than any other race this season. I had it for most of it, so apologies if the comms were lackluster. And I'll see you guys next week for Singapore in the sprint race, where hopefully I feel a bit better to commentate. I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.